Hi everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of our show Popcorn Feed here at My Comic Universe. I'm your host Steve.
I'm your other host Brian.
Today we'll be talking about Captain Marvel, the upcoming XMen films, and Deadpool 2. But first, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media.
Those are some exciting topics, so stick around. And also, don't forget, we have a Blu-ray and digital download recommendation available at the end of this episode, so stay tuned for that. With Infinity War right around the corner, you know, there have been an eclectic mix in the last decade of great new characters added to the roster list. There really has. From Valkyrie to Doctor Strange to Black Panther to Ant-Man. There's so many new characters, but who we want to talk about in this episode today is Captain Marvel. Now, I know a little bit about Captain Marvel. I know we've had a brief discussion about what's going on and what's new with the movie and what's new with the character, but maybe not everybody knows who Captain Marvel really is, who Carol Danvers is.
Right.
Carol Danvers is. So, Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about who Captain Marvel is?
Well, Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, is a U.S. Air Force pilot who becomes imbued with superpowers after an accident that infuses her DNA with that of an alien's. But Brian, why don't you tell me and our audience a little bit more about the character?
Well, you did say that she was imbued and combined with an alien race. Now, that is known as the Kree race, okay, of aliens. And in the Marvel Universe, in the comic book universe, and a little bit in the cinematic universe, we've been introduced to a couple of these alien races. There's quite a few out there, folks. Known, you know, couple known ones, couple unknown ones. There's the Skrull, the Kree, and the list can go on, but we're not going to get too involved in that in this episode. What we do want to talk about, though, is Captain Marvel. Now, Carol Danvers first made her first appearance in the comic books in Marvel Superheroes number 13. That was back in March of 1968. So, and we were introduced to the world of Captain Marvel through the original Captain Marvel series, which was written by Stan Lee, and it was based off of the original character. And since we're talking about Carol Danvers here, she was introduced to us, and then we got a spin-off series that came a few years later on down the line in the 1970s, done by Gary Conway. And if you're not familiar, Gary Conway also was the creator of The Punisher. In the Amazing Spider-Man number 129 issue, which is really cool. Very cool, yeah. He took over, and we had a Miss Marvel series. And to adapt to the times, they changed her name to Miss Marvel for an empowerment for the 1970s era. And, you know, it was really cool, the kind of character that Gary brought into the Marvel Universe. And then, of course, later on, Chris Claremont took over the reins and continued the character well into the 80s. So, but if you're not familiar with Roy Thomas now Roy Thomas was the writer on this Marvel Superheroes and was the creator. Now, Roy did Doctor Strange along with Gene Colan, who did the art on both series, and then of course they went on to do Uncanny X-Men and several other Marvel Comics series. Now that we know who Captain Marvel is and who Carol Danvers is, and we know there's going to be a Captain Marvel movie, which is really cool because this is going to be the one movie that crosses between the two phases in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, that's right.
But what are you excited for this upcoming Captain Marvel movie? What are you expecting out of it?
Well, one thing I'm excited for is watching a never-before-seen period in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's history. I know that the film is set in the 1990s, and I also know that a lot of fan favorites are going to be making a return to the big screen, like Nick Fury, Phil Coulson, Ronan the Accuser, and Korak the Pursuer. So
that's cool.
I'm excited to see these characters returning to the big screen.
Even though we already know some of their fates already, it's going to be interesting to see where they were at that moment in time before the Avengers Initiative actually started kicking off, before Phil Coulson and Nick Fury came to Tony Stark and told him about the Avengers Initiative. So
That's right. I think we were even talking about that the other day, that maybe we'll even get an idea of like what inspired Nick Fury to want to put the initiative together in the first place.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm really excited to see? I mean, obviously everyone knows that Brie Larson and Jude Law are going to be playing Carol Danvers and also Walter Lawson in the film, and Captain Marvel as well. So I'm excited to see their portrayals, but I'm really, really excited to see this directorial duo debut between, Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. They've been directing a couple of films together over the years, but this is their big franchise film that they're going to tackle together. So I'm really excited to see that. Plus, I'm really excited to hear the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Thinking about all the music from the '90s and stuff. It's like, I don't know, man. It's mostly going to be jock jams, I think.
It'll be a blast from the past for sure.
It's jock jams. But definitely, like I said, this is a film that's leading us into the next phase for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which makes me really excited for the Captain Marvel film, and the Kree. So that'll be really cool to see more of those alien races come full circle and Captain Marvel. So, and of course, the release date on Captain Marvel is going to be March 8th, 2019. So that is going to be the big kickoff Marvel movie for next year.
Right before we get to Avengers 4.
Avengers 4, which we were talking about that as well.
Yes, that's going to mark the end of an era once we finally get to see how that concludes.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. And then we also talked about that title. Remember, you said, Avengers 4, and we still don't have an official title for that film.
Right. Apparently the official title kind of gives us a few spoilers, so I know that they're keeping that one pretty secret up until now.
All right, well, we will keep everybody posted here at Popcorn Feed about the Captain Marvel movie and Avengers 4 as well. The other big topic that's been kind of a big issue, I've been talking to you about this, we've been talking, I'm sure a few of our fans are talking about it, is the upcoming X-Men films.
That's right.
Dark Phoenix, New Mutants, and unfortunately we're not going to get too involved with Gambit because it's still in development hell right now. Right. So we don't know whether or not that's even going to be an actual made film in the end. But we have Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, but
the release dates have been pushed back
again, folks.
Yep, unfortunate.
I honestly, this is strange.
It is a little unusual.
It is. It seems very unusual.
Originally, Dark Phoenix was going to come out in November of this year, and the New Mutants was supposed to come out this month, actually, on August 13th.
Right.
But then it got pushed back twice. As of right now, I know that the Dark Phoenix is going to be released on February 14th of next year, and the New Mutants will be released August 2nd.
So New Mutants is coming out in August, but now with Dark Phoenix getting pushed to February, that's the competitor against Captain Marvel, which will be coming out, 3 weeks after that?
Just a month later, yeah.
Yeah, about a month after that. So it looks like they're already setting in motion several films to fill in those empty months throughout the year where we don't get any Marvel films.
Right.
So.
Right.
But we will that's definitely something I'm very intrigued about and interested in. But I gotta ask, Steve, overall, do you feel confident about these films? Do you feel that these delays are making these films that more, desirable for us, the audience, and the fans?
Well, I know that both movies are being delayed because of reshoots.
Okay.
As far as the Dark Phoenix is concerned, the third act of the film needs a little work, and they're planning on spending just a little under $10 million on the reshoots. And same thing with the New Mutants. They're reshooting it as well because they want to make it scarier, and they also want to add in 1 or 2 new characters as well.
Which we did talk about that previously in another episode here at Popcorn Feed about the New Mutants being delayed because of those reshoots adding those characters.
That's right.
The rumored character and speculation around Warlock being the other character who's coming in.
Right.
So we will see how that plays out.
Right.
But I'm still excited for the New Mutants film.
Yes, I'm very excited for both films. But to answer your question, for me, I think Dark Phoenix, I'm actually feeling pretty good about it. The fact that they're actually taking their time on this movie makes me feel confident that it's going to be executed successfully. I know that they've already tried telling the Dark Phoenix saga once before with X-Men The Last Stand, and unfortunately it didn't quite hit the mark.
Right.
A lot of audiences were disappointed by it. And so the fact that they're taking their time makes me feel like they're going to try to get it right this time around. Plus, they also have The Last Stand to look at as kind of an example of what works and what doesn't. So I'm hoping that the people behind Dark Phoenix will, learn from past mistakes. As far as the New Mutants, though, I am a little concerned because it is one of its kind horror comic book movie. There hasn't been anything like it before.
That's very true.
And when you hear about the studio getting more involved with the production, you know, that does raise a few concerns. But
a few red flags for the producers.
Yeah, exactly. But I am hoping that in the end, these reshoots will be for the best for both films.
I hope that as well. I personally feel that with the New Mutants, I have a lot of confidence that with the delays in the additional reshoots and the character additions, I feel like that's really good for the film, that they're giving it the time to finesse it and really create this unique film. Okay, with the Dark Phoenix saga, I mean, we already got introduced to the cast in the Apocalypse film, and even though they tried to make the chemistry work between some of those characters, it still fell off a little short. So I am a little concerned with the delays. Now, everybody's hyped up right now, Steve, on Infinity War. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody is speculating, all of that. But everybody's overlooking the next big blockbuster Marvel film for this summer, which is Deadpool 2.
That's right.
I mean, everybody probably knows how I felt about the first Deadpool. I thought it was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in probably the last decade.
That's great. It's a great film, definitely.
It really was. Now that we have the second film coming out, I'm really excited. New trailers keep dropping for this film, though.
They do. We just got the final trailer on April 19th, and it looks exciting.
It looks great. Very exciting. And then we got some new additions to the Deadpool team.
Right.
And of course, Rob Liefeld, the creator of the character, the artist, he came out on social media maybe a month or two ago back, and he did say that there is talks and there is confirmation that there is going to be an X-Force film coming out. So that's something to look forward to, definitely. But overall, we were introduced to some new characters. We talked about a few of them in a previous episode here at Popcorn Feed about the Wild Pack or the Six Pack characters. But we just got introduced through this new trailer to a couple new characters. So, Steve, who did we just get introduced to? Who are these new characters that are helping Deadpool out?
So obviously everyone knows about Zazie Beetz as Domino. Terry
yeah.
Crews as Bedlam. Some of the newer characters include Louis Tan as Shatterstar. It's been rumored that Bill Skarsgård from It might be playing Richter.
I saw him on the cast list on IMDb, and I was like, oh, what is he going to be?
Right.
So that would be cool.
Still a bit of a mystery. We also have Rob Delaney as Peter, who's an interesting character for obvious reasons, considering the fact that he apparently has no superpowers. But that's the part of the film, the trailer, that I like the most. He just says, hey, I just saw the ad and I want to show up. And of course, Deadpool's like, yeah, you're in.
that alone in the trailer added that little heart and spirit, that comedy spirit to it already that makes me really excited for this film.
Right. Although when I was doing research, there is rumors that Peter actually might be Pete Wisdom, who is a British mutant that has the ability to use, let's see here, he can generate plasma blades.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes. So maybe Peter is being a little coy about his superhero abilities.
Right.
But I guess we'll know more once the film finally comes out.
Now, you said Terry Crews is going to be Bedlam.
That's right.
Okay, and I know that Bedlam has the ability to bioorganically create EMPs, basically. He can stop electromagnetic, he can create his own electromagnetic pulses.
Exactly. He can
which is really
disrupt
cool.
anything electronic or electrical with the bioelectrical field that he generates.
That's
right.
really cool. That'll be cool to see how they bring that to life for that character. And then with Shatterstar, the one cool thing I know is he's got those funky looking swords, but I know that with those swords in the comics, he can generate and teleport with them. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a strange ability, but that's kind of cool. It's cool to see that they're bringing in these other unknown characters, and of course, Shatterstar looks the most like ridiculous in his outfit.
Oh yeah.
Really
when we
does.
first get introduced, he definitely does.
So that is really exciting to see that they are bringing in these new characters. But what are you really excited for this film, Steve? Like, what are you really excited for Deadpool 2?
Well, I'm definitely excited to see the on-screen, adaptation of the X-Force. And, I'm excited to see who some of these characters are, because there are still a few question marks as far as who these people are. Even though, of course, there's lots of theories from the trailers that have been released, we still don't know for sure. So we'll just have to wait and see who is actually a part of this new cinematic X-Force.
There is that possibility that they go down that road with ZZ Beetz' character, where maybe like they did in the comics, where it's Copycat and not really Domino. But we'll see how they play that out as well. But if people aren't really familiar, we also got Cable, who is, you know, Scott Summers and Jean Grey's, well, the clone of Jean Grey's son from the future.
Right.
So everybody just found out who Cable is. He obviously was introduced in New Mutants number 87. Rob Liefeld was the artist on that and creator of that character, which is really cool. And of course, Josh Brolin.
Yeah, he's going to be kicking ass and taking names
Josh
Brolin
once again as both Thanos from the Infinity War, but now in this, he's going to be Cable, which, man, he looks great. Everything in every trailer, he looks cool. Everything he does, just like that. The first trailer I'm thinking of, where they're shooting the gun at him and he's just blocking all the bullets with his arm.
Right.
That was just too cool, man.
And there's a lot of speculation too, as far as whether or not we're going to see a team up between Deadpool and Cable.
Yes.
They might find a way to build a bridge and, you know, join forces and work with each other rather than against each other. But as of right now, he does seem to be the main antagonist.
Well, you know what? Personally, I'm excited for not just all these new characters like Shatterstar, Bedlam, Domino, Cable. That's exciting. Even Peter.
Yeah, right.
But what I'm really excited for is the fact that we're getting another chapter outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with a iconic Marvel character. I'm really excited to see the comedy that's thrown into this. I'm excited to see where they decide to go in the future with the X-Force films, and who's this mysterious kid that Deadpool is protecting in the film, that he's really, really like adamant about keeping away from Cable. Right. So that's somebody else that we want to find out, and we'll probably find out more when we see Deadpool 2. And Deadpool 2 is coming out really, really soon. May 18th, right?
Yep. Mark your calendars, everybody.
Mark your calendars, everybody. I am excited. We are excited here at Popcorn Feed. So this actually brings us to our Blu-ray and digital download recommendation for our episode, which is Justice League.
That's right, folks. This month's recommendation is DC's Justice League, starring Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, and Gal Gadot. Justice League follows Batman and Wonder Woman as they recruit a team of metahumans to battle Steppenwolf and his army of parademons. Steppenwolf is second in command to alien warlord Darkseid, who has tasked Steppenwolf with finding 3 mother boxes hidden on Earth.
Now, the reason why we're recommending this film is because we're DC fans, obviously.
Of course.
But it's just a fun film that everyone can enjoy that brings together all your favorites. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I mean, it was just a fun-filled film, and overall, it actually leads up and opens up the possibilities for the DC Entertainment Universe. And this is why we are recommending Justice League for our episode. Wow, so Steve, we went over quite a bit our recommendation, Justice League, Captain Marvel, Deadpool 2, the X-Men films being pushed around. So much news to go over. Continue to follow us here at Popcorn Feed, and we'll keep on giving you all the highlights and updates here about news for movies and television. And, of course, don't forget, follow us on our social media.
That's right. That about does it for us here at Popcorn Feed, guys. Leave us a comment below and let us know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. I'm your host, Steve.
I'm your other host, Brian.
Here with Popcorn Feed.
Thank
Till next
you.
time, thank you.